Little Ko didn't come into the world like other kittens, sheltered, warmed, protected. He was found by vacationers, tiny, hungry, alone, barely 3, maybe 4 weeks old, no mama in sight, just a little brave heart that had to fight on its own far too soon. The vacationers asked the village postman for help, a man who knew every house and every soul in the valley. He took the trembling bundle of fur carefully, wrapped it in his scarf, and brought it to a safe place, Cat Home P. And then there was Sina. She was there before Ko. She too had been brought by the postman a few weeks earlier, injured and in great danger. The postman had become her savior, and when he brought Ko, Sina, almost as if guided by a higher power, immediately placed her paw protectively on the newcomer. She became his best friend, his first and most loyal ally. The postman was their silent, shared guardian angel. The other cats, Sarim, Marcy, Pommy, Major, Ginotti, Anki, and also the shy Hasmina, were found later by Cat Home P at the same spot in the village and brought to safety. But between Hasmina and Ko, there was no spark. She didn't accept him, and Ko never saw a mother in her, so he grew up in a chaotic bunch of half-grown cats who taught him everything except how the primal, unconditional warmth of a mother feels. He was full, safe, and loved. Yet deep inside him remained a coldness that only Sina, with her persistent friendship, could slightly soothe. When winter swept over the village and the first strings of lights awoke in the windows, everyone began to speak of Christmas, of an old man with a white beard, of wishes that come true, and of a magic that hung in the air. Ko listened to the stories of the other cats, how they purred about festive food and cuddly miracles, but in his heart he found no echo. "Christmas isn't real," he said one day to Sina as they lay under a warm blanket. "Those are just stories for humans, not for us." It didn't sound mean, but exhausted, like the conviction of someone who had never experienced that a miracle could be meant for him. His words spread like a chilling gust through Cat Home P and to the farthest corner of the village. They struck Sina, Sarim, and the others right in the heart. One night, as frost painted flowers on the windows and Ko slept peacefully, an unusual meeting gathered in the sheltered corner of the barn. Sina, Sarim, Marcy, Pommy, Major, Ginotti, and Anki were there. Jasmina was present too, distant, but with strangely perked ears. The news had crossed the village borders. Boy, Andy, Freddie, Minas, and Luis Tartantu slipped in. Pebbles, the protector of another group, stepped forward with a serious expression. Even the lively travelers Pirate Kimmy and the little Prince Luigi had come, followed by Ben, Bobby, Carlito, Zoti, and others from the village community. And in the middle, with a loyal gaze and wagging tail, Basco, the dog, who had found shelter and friendship with the group since November. They all had one goal. "He doesn't believe in the good," began Sina, and her voice trembled with determination. "Because he never felt the core of it. We can't allow that." A determined murmur went through the round. Marcy stamped his paw. Major nodded vigorously. "Then we'll show him," said Sarim with his calm, steadying voice. "Not with words, with a night so full of light and warmth that he must feel it." "But how?" asked Ginotti. "How do you lead a tomcat to Santa Claus?" Then they looked at each other, this motley family of rescued protectors and travelers, and in their eyes the same certainty was reflected. "We're not fetching a Santa Claus from far away," said Sarim, and a slow feline smile appeared. "We will be his Santa Claus, every single one of us. Our gift to him will be this night." Basco gave a quiet, approving woof. "I'll keep watch. I'll make sure no danger disturbs the night." A spark of enthusiasm jumped over. A secret wintry plan was born, an alliance of paws, and hearts, only for K.O. The following days were filled with secret busyness. While K.O. went about his usual ways, magic happened in the hidden. Sarim and Major, the organizers, assigned tasks with dignified paw movements. Pommy and Gennady, the aesthetes, collected everything that glittered and sparkled: lost gift ribbons, reflective foil, a few beautifully smooth pebbles. Marcy was in charge of surprise elements, which made everyone else slightly uneasy, but also curious. Sina kept watch and made sure Kea was always distracted and at a safe distance. Basco took on the role of the guardian. She patrolled at some distance around the preparation site. Her ears pricked and warned with a muffled bark if anyone unexpected approached. Even Yasmina watched the activity. Without a word, she quietly told Pebbles where the most wind-sheltered spot for the celebration was. Her contribution was silent and practical, but it was there. The message of the mission had reached everyone. Each one knew what to do. They were one big purring and barking clockwork, heading towards Christmas Eve. The evening of December 24th was starry and still. A reverent quiet lay over Cat Home P. "Come with me," Sina said to K.O. and nudged him gently. "Outside, there's something for you." Curious but still skeptical, K.O. followed her into the yard. But what he saw took his breath away. The familiar place was transformed into a glittering fairy tale. Everywhere, their collected treasures flashed and sparkled. On a thick blanket, the very best treats were piled high. And in the middle, solemnly surrounded by small handmade lanterns, stood a little fir tree, decorated with everything cat mouths and paws could create. Then the bells began, not loud, but soft and festive. They were the old bells from the fence, which Pebbles and Freddie rang with devoted precision. And from the shadow behind the glittering tree, a figure emerged. A long red coat, a lush white beard, a sack over the shoulder, Santa Claus. K.O.'s eyes grew huge, his heart hammered. The figure came closer, bent down, and K.O. smelled the familiar scent of Major mixed with pine green. Beneath the beard, Gennady's unmistakably clever eye winked at him. In the dignified posture, he recognized Sarim. A voice that sounded like a mixture of Freddie's daredevilry and Pebbles' deliberate tone said warmly, "K.O., I've heard about you, about someone who doesn't believe in miracles." In that moment, it shot through K.O. like a warm shiver. It wasn't a stranger, it was them. His whole crazy, loving pack had transformed into this one magical figure just for him. Santa Claus was not a fairy tale from afar. He was their united love, wrapped in a coat of wonders. Santa Claus handed him a small, carefully wrapped package. Inside, a dried fish, his absolute favorite snack. Then the illusion dissolved in the joyful bustle. All the cats jumped forward to surround him, to bump heads, to purr and celebrate him. Basco barked joyfully, wagged her tail wildly, and nudged K.O. carefully with her snout. It was perfect. It was their miracle. But then, when the laughter was loudest and the happiness seemed to have reached its peak, something unexpected happened. Basco, who was lying by the entrance, suddenly raised her head. Her ears shot up, and a quiet, reverent woof escaped her. She stared intently at the large barn door, Everyone fell silent. Even Marcy stopped. Creak! Slowly, all by itself, as if a gentle hand were pushing it, the heavy wooden door opened a crack. A cold, clear draft blew in, smelling of frost and distant pines. And through the crack fell a warm, golden light that did not come from their lanterns. And then he entered, a large, friendly man with a white, real beard and a red coat that seemed to glow. Beside him, 2 small, attentive elves. It was him. The cats froze. Their homemade costumes suddenly seemed small and endearing. They had created their own miracle. And now the true miracle entered the room. Santa Claus smiled. His gaze wandered over the assembled animals, the glittering decorations, the small decorated tree, and then rested on K.O., who sat there completely stunned. "I have it in my book," said Santa Claus in a voice that sounded like the crackling of a fire, "that something very special is being prepared here tonight, a gift of hearts. And where such love is at work, I don't want to miss it." He went straight to K.O. The cats parted reverently, forming an aisle. "You are K.O.?" he said, and sat on his heels to be at eye level with the little tomcat. "You didn't believe in me, but these here," he made a wide gesture toward Sina, Sarim, Jasmina, Bosco, and all the others. "They believed in you, and sometimes the faith of others is the strongest magic that carries a wish to me." Carefully, he took K.O. into his large, gentle hands. It wasn't a dramatic gesture, but a natural, tender one. For one short, eternal moment, he held the kitten close to his red coat, and K.O., who had never been held like that, pressed his little head into the soft fabric and began to purr softly, a deep, happy, vibrating purr that everyone could hear. "You have never been alone, little hero," whispered Santa Claus, before gently placing him back down next to Sina. "You just weren't ready to see it yet." Then he turned to everyone. "You have made the greatest gift tonight. You gave a heart trust. For that, you have earned an extra little wish." An elf stepped forward and placed a small, filled bowl for each animal, with something that smelled irresistible. For Basco, it was a special bone. For K.O., next to the fish, there was also a tiny, velvety plush mouse. With one last warm smile for K.O., Santa Claus stood up. "Keep this faith in yourselves, in each other." And as he had come, he left again. The door closed quietly behind him, but the warmth, the glow, and the unmistakable scent of cinnamon and apple remained. The silence that followed was not empty, but full of wonder, full of certainty. But the night was not over yet. A new sound mixed with the astonished purring, a familiar rhythmic rumbling from the distance. Vroom, 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 vroom. Basco jumped up and barked joyfully. Freddie and Boyd jumped onto the windowsill. "They're coming!" cried Marcy, and his eyes lit up. The Whiskers Christmas party! Like a parade of light and sound, they emerged from the darkness. Old tractors, festively decorated with fairy lights and glitter, rolled into the yard. They came from all the neighboring villages. On a large trailer sat a band, and there, in the spotlight, stood Anki at the microphone. The usually reserved tomcat beamed. He was the secret singer of Cat Home P. As the first tractor stopped, he started the song that every cat knew. Jingle cats, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride with Whiskers in the sleigh. Hey! The yard transformed into a bubbling cauldron of joy. Cats danced in the snow. As the band launched into the catchy Whiskers party song, a joyful tractor parade began. K.O., completely overwhelmed, was pulled into the dance by Sina. This was the other side of the miracle. loud, pure
Falling
shrill.
soft and white, kittens